Hey everyone, and welcome to our launch webinar for our 40 Rules of Love course. And I'm joined today by the amazing Adele Jacobs, and we're so excited to be telling you about what is being released tomorrow on Valentine's Day in our Coaching Minds Hub. Adele, do you want to say hi to everybody who's tuned in?
I want to say hello to everyone tuned in, everyone watching the replay, and we are excited to launch this and we are looking forward to your feedback.
No, wonderful. Thank you so much, Adele. If you are tuned in, please say hi. Drop your name in the comments box. Let us say hello to you. And whilst we're waiting for you to guys to tune in here, I'm just going to hit some confetti to celebrate this. This has been a long piece of work that has been outstanding for a while, and we are so grateful for every single member that has taken part in creating this, so we can share our perspectives, our insights, and our words of wisdom on this very beautiful book, The 40 Rules of Love by Elif Shafak. So when it comes to the comments, we've got a few people tuned in. Iris is tuned in. Thank you so much for being here. We've got Priya tuned in. Priya, thank you so much for being here. And also thank you for being part of this course, sharing your reflections and insights on a lot of the sessions. So thank you so much. So just to give you a bit of a background, if you haven't read this book already, let us know. Have you read The 40 Rules of Love? Drop it in the comments box below. Lorena is saying hello. Thank you so much for being here, Lorena. It's really wonderful to see you here too. Adele, do you want to give a little bit of an overview of the book? You read it a couple of times, haven't you, if I'm right? I think I read it 3 times. You read it, how many times have you read it?
I've read it twice, and for me, the story goes so deep that it's one of those books that you can reread. Like you say, you've done it 3 times. I'm now with this course going to read it for the third time. And every time I get a different perspective, a different lesson. Um, for me, the journey that Shams follows and where Rumi comes in really tells us, and it goes deeper within not just love, but deeper within yourself. You start to understand yourself more through this book. I don't know if you've got a different overview that you want to share, Paul.
No, it's a little bit, just add a little bit extra to that. It's a really wonderful book. It's probably one of my favorite books that's out there. And as you mentioned, it really forces us to go in deep. And the important point to mention is it's not about romantic love. This is not about romantic love. This is about love in general, what love is. It's about your relationships with everybody. It's about your connection with God, the universe, whatever it is you believe in. It's about going on that journey within. It's absolutely fantastic book. And you've got two different ways of looking at this. There is you can read it the first way, which I read it like a story. So you've got a story within a story. So you have a story of a modern day lady who is having problems with her marriage, in her relationship, and she's feeling unsatisfied. And she comes across this book, this script that is in the book as she's part of a new role in the book. And inside that script is the story of Shams of Tabriz, who is a member or a great friend of Rumi. So anybody who's heard of Rumi and not read this book, this will be a very interesting book for you if you're a Rumi fan. And you get the 40 rules of wisdom shared throughout Sham's story within the main story of Ella. Ella is the name of the lady who is going through the problems with her husband and with her family. So you get a story within a story. So you can read it and enjoy the story and flow through it. Or you can read it in a sense of looking for deeper reflection, deeper discovery, which is why we created this course, which is to start to stop and think and reflect on each of the 40 rules of love and how you can actually apply that to your life. So the second time I went through it was for that purpose, and the third time I read it was when we were pulling this course together. And what we've done here is we pulled together 40 sessions with different members from Coaching Minds, and we've taken each rule and we've shared our perspectives, because we all read the rule in a different way. We take different learning from it, we take different understanding from it, and we've put it into a mini course or a long course, 40 sessions actually, so you can listen back to our reflectives, you can learn what the rule is, and you can get your own insights and share your own perspectives on that rule. And before I ask you a question, Adela, I'm just gonna, a few people tuned in. So Madhurima, it's wonderful to see you here. Thank you so much. She said she hasn't read the book yet. Iris has said she hasn't yet, but she's curious. Priya's also listened to it 3 times, and Priya's saying love for humanity. It's all about love for humanity as well. It's a really important point to bring in there. So if you are curious, this is a book that you have to read. It's an absolutely wonderful book. Adele, is anything you want to add before we jump in and share some rules?
Yeah, Paul, what I can add in, it's also a very spiritual book for me. If you want to go deeper in your spirituality and really understand that in a deeper sense, how it goes for you within and your perspective. Like you say, each rule that we've done was having those different perspectives and shared that. And it really gives you that broader understanding in the spiritual sense as well.
No, I love that. And I think that's a really important point to note because the actual title of this book put me off it for a long time because
Yeah.
I thought it's just another book on relationships. It's going to give me relationship advice. It's going to tell me rules on how I should have a relationship, or if I'm single, how I should find the right partner. But it's got nothing to do with that at all. And although we're launching it on Valentine's Day because this is it's the month of love and connections, and in Wisdom Quiz, it's the month of friendship. It's about changing who we are. It's going on that journey within. It's about connecting, understanding that love is something we be, and it's not something we receive and something we give. It's something we just who we are, and it really takes us on that deep spiritual journey, which makes it a really, really attractive book. Donna's tuned in. Donna's also saying hi. Thank you so much for tuning in, Donna. It's wonderful to see you here. So Priya and anybody else who's tuned in who's read this book, what would you like to share with everybody today? What was your favorite? What sticks out from you from the book, or what's your favorite rule? Please feel free to share it in the comments box below. And Adele, I'm going to go over to you, and we've got your favorite rule on the screen today. So do you want to tell everybody, read your rule out, and tell everybody a little bit about your favorite rule and why?
Okay. My favorite rule is rule number 37. It is God is a meticulous clockmaker, so precise in his order that everything on earth happens in its own time, its own minute, not a sorry, neither a minute late nor a minute early, and everyone without exception, the clock works accurately. Why it's my favorite rule? It's sometimes something that we don't understand. Um, that we always want something to happen in our time, and we rush things, or we're not willing to wait for things to happen. Um, but we must understand that either, like you said earlier, God, the universe, whoever your higher power is, has got that meticulous clock, and it will work according to that clock at the right time. Um, and things will fall into place. And it's not, it gives us that sense of relaxation and takes actually the stress and the worry away if we really understand this. That it's not going to happen immediately. It might happen a year down the line, 2 years down the line, and not on your time. And it's that clock works perfectly. There is no fault or default in that clock. And we often seem to blame that spiritual side and say, but why is this not happening now? I want it to happen now. Um, it's just to get that understanding it will happen at the right time.
No, and it's a really wonderful rule. Thank you so much for sharing that, Adele. And if you're watching, if you haven't read the book, if you're reading the book, or you're going to pick up the book for this course, or you're just going to follow our course is completely free. You can get access it to https://hub.coachingminds.co.uk. You can see it across the ticker below. But you can get to Rule 37. You can listen to our thoughts and discussions on this because it really does spark a lot of discussion points. And I can't even remember because we recorded this over a year ago. We're just getting around to launching it now, the 40 sessions. And I can't remember if we touch upon this discussion, but just something that's coming to my mind reading it now is how in society we're so pushed with, or so really, like you mentioned, we want things now. That instant gratification is really causing a lot of friction. It's causing a lot of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but it's ripe in society. We want things now. And we're always looking for the quickest and simplest way to get things to us. And we're losing sight of actually that spiritual connection and that the fact that God is a meticulous clockworker and clockmaker, and everything happens in divine timing. And as we can try our best to try and push that, but are we going to get it? Is it going to happen the way we want it? So thank you for sharing that really interesting rule. So if you're tuning in right now, we are launching our 40 Rules of Love course. This is just a webinar. Adele's sharing her favorite rule, which is Rule 37. If you have a favorite rule, please drop it in the comments box. And as I've just discussed, we've put together 40 sessions where we discuss with a couple of our members each of these rules and share our perspectives and thoughts on how we interpret the rules. We all interpret these very differently. And from those interpretations, from listening to different perspectives, we can learn a lot more from this beautiful book. And I put it in here. So Iris has said, I love it, Adele. He makes all things beautiful in his time. And Donna is saying, delayed gratification builds resilience and gratitude. It allows us to truly savor the moment and the journey. What a beautiful thought there, Donna. And thank you so much, Iris, for sharing the quote from Adele as well. Really beautiful stuff. But just here, just these comments coming through, just the reflections that you're doing here on this rule shows just you're just reading the rule. You're not reading the story behind it, what leads up to him sharing this. There's a whole story behind each of these rules. It's not just a book with the rules and then it's all kind of explaining what that rule is. There's no explanation of the rule within the book, which makes it beautiful. So you can input your own interpretations and perspectives. And Adele, I'm sensing you want to jump in and say something there.
Yeah. What I want to say, with every single rule, there is a lesson for you that you can learn yourself. And it's from the beginning, they each build on each other. And it gives you a clarification. Like you say, there's a story behind each rule. It gives you a situation and how people are dealing with it and where the rule comes in. So, like you said, you can read it as a story, or you can read it in that sense of really taking it within and doing that deep reflection. Um, for me, this book is, it's like you say, it's one of the best books I've ever read, and I think it's one of the only books I've read more than once. Um, and I would love to see the people that's going to do the course, and their reflection that's going to be shared. And Paula, I just want to ask you: are you going to share your favorite rule with us?
No, I'm going to share my favorite rule in just a second, and I really like that you've mentioned that, Adele, because I think the benefit of here is pick up the book, read the book. When you get to that rule, when you want to hear other people's perspectives, come and join and do that lesson in the course, and take your time as you go through it. Because as Adele mentioned, it's a story. There's no description in there. There's no explanation. Basically, we are following Shamsa Tabriz, which is the character in the book, in the story within the story, and he's going around and he's helping, guiding people. He's on a journey from Baghdad all the way to meeting Rumi, who you find becomes a character later on the book. And in his journey, he meets a number of different characters that lead to them introducing these rules. And as Adele mentioned, they add on. So it's really, really fantastic for a story as well. So on that note, while we're waiting, if you do have a favorite rule, if there's something that you want to share, please drop it in the comments box. I'm just going to be sharing my favorite rule with you guys, which is Rule 10. And I really love this rule. So it's east, west, south, or north makes little difference. No matter what your destination, just be sure to make every journey a journey within. If you travel within, you'll travel the whole wide world and beyond. And before I share why this is my favorite rule, I just want to ask you guys, what does that bring forth for you today? So east, west, south, or north makes little difference. No matter what your destination, just be sure to make every journey a journey within. If you travel within, you'll travel the whole wide world and beyond. And Madhurima is saying she loves this. She loves this rule. It's honestly, it is my favorite rule from the book. And these are just two. We're just sharing two today. There's 40 rules that are like this and a story behind it. It's an absolutely beautiful book. So what does it bring forth to you? How do you interpret just reading that? Just the text without the background? Because for me, it's full. Dal, do you want to share a little bit on what it does for you as well?
Um, Paul, it was actually one that when I went down my list, it was on my list to put down, and I think it was my second one as well. For me, it is no matter where you come from or where you are going to on your journey, make it within. It is not to take everything from outside and basically make that who you are. The outside, go within and really understand yourself, your values, and go deep. And with that, if you bring that out, like you say, you will travel the whole world and beyond. For me, that is really to go deep within yourself and get that understanding. That is what this rule really, really means to me.
No, I love that, and I resonate with that a lot, Adele. And Madhurima's put something in here as well. So moving with internal awareness helps you power up and actually observe the journey outside, and it really does, Madhurima. It's so powerful. From what you and Adele were sharing there, it is really powerful. And the reason I love this as well, Adele, is sometimes we can just be searching for ourselves, searching for answers, traveling the world, traveling here, traveling there, and it not necessarily just in terms of travel, but in terms of the jobs that we do, in terms of the roles that we play in our life. We're constantly looking for ourselves and answers externally, when actually all the answers are within. So no matter where we go, no matter what we do, we need to always have that journey within. We need to always find that inner peace, that inner balance, who we are, that deeper awareness, that deeper self-discovery. Because the more we change, and it ties nicely into one of my favorite quotes by Wayne Dyer as well. We change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. And the only way we can change the way we look at things is by taking that journey within. So for me, it was a really powerful rule that that comes through. And Donna's saying here, it reminds me that there is one planet. So she's corrected herself. So there's one planet and one race. Humankind equals human kindness for oneself and towards others, and that's beautiful as well, Donna. You know, we're getting lots of different views, different things that these rules bring up for us, which is why we really seen the benefit of this course, to just get a couple of members in a room, talk for 20 minutes on each of these rules, and then allow you guys to listen and share your perspectives below in the course. So we're really looking forward to hearing from you guys once you've read this book and you're working through, just to share your intakes and to complete the task each day as well, which gets you to think. This is a course that's built, you know, it's not, we're not teaching you anything here. We're not telling you this is how you do things. We're not giving you tips. We're not giving you any advice. We're just sharing our reflections so you can reflect and you can take that journey within throughout these 40 days, these 40 lessons, 40 sessions that we have here at Coach Your Minds, which we're launching tomorrow. So it's just a case of you listening to other people, what they've shared, going in with yourself and going in a deeper self-awareness, deeper self-discovery, and sharing what it brings forth for you. Iris is saying here, follow your heart, your passion, your purpose. Again, beautiful words that are coming through from this rule. Madhurima is saying it's something similar to parallel journey, go hand in hand. They do indeed. Thank you so much for these beautiful comments and beautiful wisdom. So if you are interested in joining us, this is being open. The course is being open tomorrow. You'll have access to the sessions and you can work through a rule every day. Go out there, pick up the book before you start. And you know, it's one thing I really love, Adele, is, and people have to have an open mind. They have to really be an open mind to do this. They have to be ready to take that journey within, ready to just sit back, because it's a really enjoyable book as well. When you're going through the story, it's an easy read. The rules are a bit deep when you stop and try and reflect on the rules. But what I love is this is, you know, it's based on Sufism. You know, a lot of it mentions the Quran, which was new to me, but really exciting and open. You know, to have a different perspective, different learning from a different culture. And I took so much wisdom from that. So I think really an open mind is important for this course, and just the ability to want to go in and start to reflect on who you are as a person and how you can connect with others.
Paul, if I can add something to that, what you've just said, for me, doesn't matter if it's based on Islam or the Quran or sorry, sorry.
Do what you need to do. It's okay. I'll give you a few minutes, Adele. I'll give you comments to catch yourself. I hope you're okay. So yeah, it's, you know, it's based on the Quran, it's based on Sufism, and it's really, really an eye opener. There's lots of learning, lots of. You good, Adele?
Sorry, I'm good. My voice is gone. Sorry. What I wanted to say is, it really makes you understand this, not just a different culture, but the message is the same across everything that I've read, whether it is from Christianity, whether it's from Hinduism, the message basically is the same. And that is where the open mind comes in, is not to really reflect on different religions or that. It's go in with that open mind and take the message that you need to get.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely. And it's having that open mind. And like you said, the message is similar across all the different cultures, different variations. There's just so much wisdom, so much beauty in each of the rules, and the story itself is absolutely wonderful. And what I like as well is the number 40 is quite an interesting number. It shares in the book why it's the 40 rules and the meaning behind that. But I want to know if anybody knows why is on a like a and logical sense, why is the number 40 different from every number? Does anybody know? So this is not from any kind of spiritual perspective, just a logical and literal sense. I'm going to bring some stuff in here. So Maria was saying, can't wait to check out this course. Now it's going to be wonderful. Lorena saying, real 10 for me to being present in what I'm doing nowadays. We multitask and don't really live the day appreciating what's around us. That's so important, Lorena. And that's another good perspective we can bring on this rule, because we're so busy traveling and maybe we're going around seeing things. And you're right, in these days, we're not present. We're too busy on our phones. You know, I see when I travel a lot, I see people, they go to a place, they'll take a picture of the place and then they'll walk off. They'll never take the time to be present, enjoy where they are, see their surroundings. It's all about getting that picture, whether it's for social media or for a memory, but then where's the memory gone if you're just taking the picture? So I think it's really, really important. You know, we multitask a lot and we're not present. And I think presence plays a huge part in this rule as well. So see, there's lots of different and beautiful conversations we can have at the back of each of these rules. Priya saying, sorry I missed some of it. It's hard to choose one rule. All the rules are profoundly teaching us something. They are. It's really great. Thank you for sharing that, Priya. Very wise, Adele. And Middle Age Rebirth. Thank you so much for sharing that, Donna. Anya is saying, good one, Adele. Looking forward to the course. So as I mentioned, what you are going to be witnessing as you go through the course is discussions on each of these rules from different members of Coaching Minds. And then all we're asking you is to share your reflections below so we can have a discussion. And what we might do is every month we might put on a session where we can get together and start to talk about, randomly pick a rule and start to talk about it so we get those connections through this course. So very, very interesting. So going back to my question, in a logical sense, the number 40 is quite unique in English in the sense that it is the only number, when written down, has its letters in alphabetical order. So F-O-R-T-Y. There is no other number in English when written down that has their letters in alphabetical order. So that is what's really special about 40 from a logical sense. In the book, it talks about why 40 is a spiritual number and why it has been chosen for this book. I'll leave you to find that out when you read that, but it is a really fantastic read. And that kind of leads us nicely on to the last thing that we want to share today, which is for those of you who are ready to dive into this course now. As I mentioned, it's completely free, but just keeping on that magical number of 40, we do have a special certificate for the first 40 people to complete the course. So there's only 40 certificates. So the first 40, there will be certificates after it. It'll just be our standard CPD Coaching Minds certificate. So we want to encourage you to get invested in this, start to go on a deeper internal journey, start to reflect, work through each of these courses, and you will get the first 40 people to complete will get this certificate. So they have that. So there's only going to be 40 of those available, but the rest of everybody else who completes later on will get the standard Coaching Minds certificate. So there is a certificate of completion at the end, which we're looking forward to give to everybody as well. So on that note, Adele, is there anything that you would like to share? Any final thoughts for everybody? And we'll bring this to a bit of a close.
For me, Paul, I would just invite everyone to join us on this journey and really read the book and read the story, but go deeper within yourself and just get to those rules and dissect them and share your perspectives with us, because that's what makes it. Because even through the comments today, I've learned something new just based on the rules that we shared, the two that we've shared. And it's like I said, you keep on learning through this book, and go in with an open mind, like you already said. And looking forward to connecting with you all in the course.
No, wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Adele. And I think the final point is, if you really want to get the most out of this, then please do purchase the book. Read the book alongside the course. You will get a lot more benefit. Maybe read the book first and then come back to the course so you can read it through with a story and then start to reflect on each of the rules. But it's not a quick fix. We're not giving you everything in the book here. We're just pulling out the rules that were shared in there. So you're going to miss a lot of the context, a lot of the story that's behind that by just sharing and reflecting on that. So please do go out there, get the book. It's not expensive. It's less than £10. You can get it on Amazon and all different places. If you're struggling to find it, just reach out. We'll give you a message and help you get a copy of it. It's also available on Audible as well. Pri has listened to it a number of times, but we do recommend that you have the book alongside the course so you can share a little bit more, because we'll be sharing some posts and things as well, because there's a lot of great stuff in there that doesn't form part of the rules, but we also think it's important to put in the course as part of the wisdom. So for example, the 7 stages of nafs, Adele, the stories that Sham shares with different members that aren't parts that we can capture and really put part of the wisdom of this course. So we're excited. We're looking forward to it. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts, your views, your wisdom, so we can all share and learn together. So thank you so much to everybody who's tuned in. Thank you, Adele, for being here today so we can introduce this to our community, and looking forward to connecting with you all. Thank you.